is the darkest secret about the Cecil Hotel, where a famous serial killer stayed? Let's find out. Los Angeles in the roaring 20s was booming. Skyscrapers pierced the clouds, and dreams of fortune and fame lured thousands of people from all walks of life. In this whirlwind of excitement and opportunity stood the Cecil Hotel, a 740-room giant that catered to a motley crew of guests. It was a place where transients rubbed shoulders with artists, where dreamers shared rooms with those who had given up on dreams. It was an architectural marvel, but its halls echoed with a sinister history. The Cecil Hotel opened its doors in 1924, marking the beginning of a new era in Los Angeles. Designed by the renowned architect Sumner B. Hunt, it boasted a Mediterranean revival style with a hint of Art Deco flair. Standing at the corner of South Main Street and West 64th Place, it was conveniently located just a stone's throw away from the city's bustling financial district and the famous Pershing Square. Its proximity to these landmarks made it an ideal spot for those seeking both affordability and accessibility. The hotel quickly established itself as a hub for those passing through Los Angeles, offering a refuge for weary travelers, businessmen on the go, and individuals who were drawn to the vibrant downtown scene. It also became known as a home away from home for various eccentric characters that frequented the area. Artists, bohemians, and dreamers found solace in its rooms, each floor resonating with their hopes and aspiration. The Cecil's reputation grew, but so did the darkness within its walls. In the heart of Los Angeles' cultural melting pot, the Cecil attracted a diverse range of guests. It was here that the transient population found respite, where they could lay their weary heads after a day of searching for work or an elusive dream. Among them were the working class, the everyday people who toiled to make ends meet and sought a moment's peace within the hotel's confines. But the Cecil was not just a haven for the working class. It was also a magnet for artists and dreamers. People from all walks of life came to Los Angeles hoping to make their dreams come true, and many of them found temporary refuge at the Cecil, each room becoming a canvas upon which they painted their hopes and ambitions. One of the most intriguing groups of people who found a home at the Cecil were the Hollywood hopefuls. Young men and women from across the country flocked to Los Angeles during the golden age of Hollywood, lured by the promise of fame and fortune. Many of them ended up at the Cecil, sharing stories of their auditions and the latest gossip from the silver screen. Each room reverberated with the sound of their dreams, dreams that sometimes ended abruptly within the shadow of the Cecil. For while the hotel offered hope, it also harbored secrets that were waiting to be uncovered. But there was another side to the Cecil. Beneath its veneer of respectability lurked a darker reality. It was a place where lives were lost and where death seemed to linger in the shadows. Mysterious deaths, suicides, and disappearances became uncomfortably commonplace. Room 304 holds a particularly grim reputation. As the years passed, tales of tragedy and despair began to weave themselves into the very fabric of the Cecil. Among the most haunting was the story of Pauline Park. She checked into the Cecil in 1929 under an alias, quickly disappearing into the labyrinth of its corridors. Her body was found only when she stopped paying her bills, and her spirit is said to roam the halls to this day. Then there was the unsettling case of the Norwegian woman. She was found dead in 1932, having seemingly succumbed to the harsh realities of life on the streets. Her haunting nickname a testament to the desperate measures she had taken to survive. These were just two of the many souls who met their end at the Cecil, each death adding another layer of darkness to its already tarnished reputation. As the years rolled on, the Cecil's notoriety grew. It was no longer just a place where dreams were born. It was a place where they often died. The walls seemed to whisper tales of sorrow and despair, making it one of the most haunted hotels in Los Angeles. Yet despite the growing unease, people still found themselves drawn to its doors. Perhaps it was the allure of the unknown, or maybe it was the cheap accommodations. Whatever the reason, the Cecil continued to attract a steady stream of guests, each unaware that they were stepping into a living nightmare. Amidst this grim backdrop, a new player entered the stage. Enter Richard Ramirez, a name synonymous with terror. Ramirez's reign of crime shook Los Angeles to its core. His sadistic acts left an indelible mark on the city, forever changing its landscape of fear. And then the unthinkable happened. He was caught and sentenced to death. As he awaited his fate on death row, a question echoed through the minds of many. Where did he stay when he wasn't committing his heinous acts? The answer, surprisingly, was at the Cecil Hotel. How did such a monster find refuge within the walls of such an establishment? It seemed inconceivable, yet it was true. Ramirez's presence at the Cecil added another layer of darkness to the hotel's already troubled past. It raised questions about the nature of evil and how something so sinister could exist within such close proximity to the dreams and aspiration of countless individuals. Ramirez's association with the Cecil served as a stark reminder of the fine line between civilization and chaos. But Ramirez was not the only famous serial killer to stay at the Cecil. Jack the Ripper's presence at the Cecil is nothing short of chilling. Born John Bizerquia, he led a life shrouded in mystery. His path crossed with the most notorious serial killer in history, Jack the Ripper. The Cecil became his home away from home, a place where he planned his gruesome deeds and evaded the clutches of the law. This revelation sent shockwaves through the public, forcing them to confront the unnerving reality that such a monster could have resided among them. The thought of Jack the Ripper lurking within the shadows of the Cecil added a new dimension of horror to the hotel's dark history. It was as if the walls themselves were hiding secrets too terrible to be revealed, whispering tales of blood and brutality in the dead of night. The Cecil had become more than just a hotel. It was a symbol of fear, a monument to the darkness that can lurk in the most unsuspecting places. Enter Elizabeth Short, a young woman who dared to dream big, who left behind the Midwest with stars in her eyes and a heart full of hope. She wanted to become an actress, and the bright lights of Hollywood beckoned her like a siren's call. But the journey was fraught with peril, and the Cecil was where her path took a terrifying turn. Little did she know that her dreams would soon turn into a nightmare, and the Cecil would become the backdrop of her final moments. On January 9th, 1947, Elizabeth Short checked into the Cecil. She was eager to start her new life, unaware that she was entering a realm of darkness. Her room, number 933, was to become a symbol of tragedy. Within its four walls, her hopes and dreams were shattered, leaving behind a legacy of horror that continues to haunt the Cecil's halls. Richard Ramirez may have been the Night Stalker, but he was just one piece of the puzzle. Other serial killers graced the Cecil with their presence, each adding their own sinister chapter to the hotel's chronicles. Among them was Glenwood Spencer, a name that struck fear into the hearts of many. He stalked the streets of Los Angeles, preying on the innocent and leaving a trail of terror in his wake. The Cecil became a part of his gruesome story, a place where he may have plotted his next move or perhaps even laid low after a spree of killings. It was a horrifying realization that such evil could have found sanctuary within the same walls that once echoed with laughter and dreams. Then there was the mysterious case of Israel Keys, a man with a shadowy past and a chilling secret. He, too, found refuge at the Cecil, adding to the growing list of serial killers who had called this place home. Key's presence at the Cecil was a disturbing chapter in the hotel's history, a testament to the dark reality that lurked beneath its roof. Among the most unsettling cases associated with the Cecil is the tale of Israel Keys. His story began in 1937 when he arrived at the hotel claiming to be a successful businessman. But beneath his polished exterior lay a sinister secret. Keys was wanted for questioning in connection with a string of gruesome murders in New York. However, despite the looming shadow of suspicion, he was granted a room at the Cecil. In the ensuing days, he seemed to vanish without a trace, leaving the authorities baffled and the residents of the Cecil on edge. What truly transpired behind closed doors remains a chilling mystery. Some believe that Keys used the Cecil as a temporary hideout, a place to lay low before striking again. Others claim that the hotel's shadowy hallways became his hunting ground, preying on the vulnerable guests who crossed his path. The thought of a serial killer operating within the very heart of Los Angeles sent shockwaves through the city, turning the once bustling hotel into a symbol of fear and uncertainty. Israel Key's stay at the Cecil cast a long shadow of dread over the entire establishment. His presence created an atmosphere of constant unease, with guests and staff alike wondering who among them might be the next victim. The lack of concrete answers only fueled the fire of speculation, creating a breeding ground for fear and paranoia. To this day, the mystery surrounding Key's activities at the Cecil continues to captivate and terrify, making it one of the most haunting chapters in the hotel's history. And let's not forget the mysterious Sky Tyler, whose connection to the Cecil is a puzzle yet to be solved. The Cecil Hotel stands as a chilling reminder that sometimes the most horrifying stories unfold in the most ordinary of places. From the enigmatic cases of Pauline, Park, and Jack the Ripper to the terrifying tales of Ramirez, Spencer, and Keys, the hotel has borne witness to some of the darkest chapters in Los Angeles history. Within its walls, dreams have turned into nightmares, and the line between sanity and insanity has blurred. The Cecil is more than just a hotel. It is a portal into the abyss, a glimpse into the darkest recesses of the human psyche. As we step foot inside, we are not just checking into a room, we are checking into a world where reality is stranger than fiction. We are stepping into the world of the Cecil, where every floorboard creaks a story of tragedy and every shadow seems to hold a secret that would chill us to the bone.